What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby Emu, and I'm literally ecstatic about the announcements and the features for WWE 2K17. Now, IGN released the exclusive first look details into the gameplay, and I'm going to tell you why this is a big deal. A lot of the stuff on this list wouldn't have probably happened if it wasn't for showcase mode getting taken out. Maybe not, but this is the first year. I, as a content creator who do this for a living, everybody thinks we're in the pocket of 2K, which I've never been paid from 2K. I am a fan of the product. When they invite us out, we go out there to pitch ideas, help with the game, and this is the first year. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that they have listened. 2K15 was the first step into the next-gen platform for them. 2K16 was a step above that, introducing new features, but still missing a lot of the key elements we wanted. And 2K17, I was in a room with Mark Little last year trying to pitch him on these ideas that we just kind of took from the community. That's what we do when we go to these events. These aren't just going to have fun and seeing the game like every single person assumes. CM Pulse is in there with a notebook with all the ideas that people submitted to him, talking to the actual creators of the game. So when we finally, this is the first year that the input we put in, and I'm going to describe a little bit, kind of behind the scenes of what I personally had pitched to them. My big one, the one that I am most excited about, because this is something that I personally last year said. For the last 2 years, I've told 2K in the room with the developers about having a rollout. I said in a triple threat match or a multi-man match, and a lot of people have said this too, so I'm not taking credit. I don't take credit for any of these ideas. We as a community accomplished this. I wanted a multi-person rollout. So basically, if you're in a match with 3 people and one person takes huge damage, they essentially roll out of the ring and hide. I said that exact same phrase to the developers. A lot of people have kind of suggested that in the past, a similar idea, and this year it's going to happen. You're going to be able, in multi-man matches, where if something happens and you take a sustained damage, you will roll out of the ring. You're forced to roll out where they rest for a while. Depending on how badly they're hurt, they'll be stuck there until they've at least partially recovered, according to Vincent. Now, the reason that is big is because in triple threat matches, it's frustrating when everybody keeps coming in and just doing everything. You want to make it more real, because in real WWE, if they're doubling down and going away from arcade to simulation, and you are really putting in the effort to this, is truly something that you can create matches like you see on WWE, and 2K knows this, and they're making it that full-on simulation. Now, some people might prefer the arcade style. I have no problem with the simulation style as long as there's a lot of stuff to do. And since we have Highlight Creator, other modes, Creative Victory, Titatron comes back, there's a lot of stuff this year that they legitimately have listened to us and put in the game. Now, when that happens, if you come back in too early, if a pinfall is about to be scored, you can see the perfect opportunity. Maybe you can run in, throw him out of the ring after you've been laying on the outside, and you can get that victory, like stealing one in the actual WWE, which is something we've gravely needed, because a lot of triple threats, people just get up, break them up, and triple threat matches go on forever. Here, if you play smart, you have an opportunity to create something very realistic. Now, let's talk about the ladder match overhaul. So, in real life, a ladder match means high impact, high altitude spots, is what they've said. But a ladder can only be set up in 5 specific locations in front of each set of ropes and in the center of the ring. Just get close to one, press the right button, and it sets up properly every time. No more setting it up and climbing to the top only to find out you're an inch too far to the left. Now, some people have speculated like, oh, but in WWE, they do set it up wrong to the left. I get that, but the weird physics of having a ladder everywhere, I'm going to be cautious on this feature. I think it's a good thing to do, but you want to make sure that that perfect ladder setup, hopefully it doesn't warp too bad. Hopefully, it does look good, and they have an animation where when you go to set it up, instead of the ladder just being there, he kind of walks over and puts it there, or she, if we have women ladder matches. But it is kind of a big deal. Now, you can also, for the first time, set up a ladder and bridge it from the apron to the outside barricade, which opens up a lot more possibilities, which is a great addition, a great feature to have within the game, and it's something that I am personally excited for. This is another, this is adding on to the OMG moments. When you guys remember when they introduced OMG moments back in 2011 with WWE 12, and then they expanded to add more, and ever since, it's grown and grown and grown, which is something that I think the fans have desperately wanted. Also, this is where I honestly believe 2K finally went, we got you. We understand what you want. At long last, from the days of PS2 gameplay, you could fight Backstage in WWE 2K14 in those games too, but you could never transition between them. And now, in a no DQ match, you can transition from any part of it to the Backstage scrap. There are 3 separate areas to choose from, and a bevy, according to Vincent, a bevy of interactive props to get nasty with. And there are a handful of Backstage-only OMG moments. He said he didn't really get to check them out, but it can happen during any match regardless of rule set, which, I'll be honest with you, is a big deal because Backstage fighting is one of my favorite things. Earlier this year, about a month or two ago, about 2 months ago, I started playing old PS2 games, and during the live streams for Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth, people were like, this is what I miss, being able to go everywhere in the arena, doing what I want, when I want. We've already saw the fighting in the crowd, but now we know there's confirmed 3 areas to fight. I'm guessing there's an interview area, maybe some sort of backstage area, and this is improved upon. Come WWE 2K18, they can add even more of these places and really make it step up and to be an awesome video game, because I am the #1 proponent of a story creator. My channel was pretty much built on it. My videos that have 300,000 to 1 million views are all story creator. It's stuff I genuinely enjoy doing. I loved playing through people's stories, seeing their creative process as a person that wants to be a filmmaker, YouTuber. I like to see creativity, but I understood that a lot of the cutscenes were from past games and they were captured from years and years ago. Now, hopefully, with the addition of some of this stuff, we eventually get a creator back with a lot more captured stuff, but in new generation with all the OMG moments and the greatness of the simulation-style gameplay that the 2K series is now offering. Jumping on to the next thing, taunting matters. Taunting has been a way to roleplay for your wrestler, right? Taunting is a thing that oftentimes gets overused, it's spammed. People do it to, build up their stuff to build finishers. Well, this year, they finally made it so some taunts actually give you a temporary damage boost. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some people, especially when you're playing online, that modify the characters, and hopefully you play with Fair Fight or something that doesn't allow it. But you could basically take away all your taunts that, do that, unless it's in the spot. If it's not necessarily, if it's tied to not the taunts themselves, but in the spots you put the taunts, that would make a lot more sense. And it really allows you to, prevent people from spamming. So some provide a damage boost, while others increase the rate at which you gain momentum, which is something that pretty much all the community said for a long time. Like, nobody likes taunts, man. When I used to stream WWE 2K14 all the time, we used to do streams all the time. 13 too, is when people were spamming online, I just wasn't digging it. It's like they would go to the outside of the ring and have 80% and then run back in and do stuff. Now, you kind of get penalized for doing that, and really kind of makes it stand out, which is something I'm really digging. Next, you have the major reversals. So I haven't gotten too many major reversals in WWE 2K16, but this year they're adding more of them. The timing window was pretty narrow, and they're going to improve on that in a way where now, just like you got the offensive boost, a major reversal will lock your opponent's ability to perform reversals of their own. So if you reversed somebody's RKO, then you can go for your finisher, a major one, not just a regular reversal, and prevent them from using their finisher, so you could actually end matches depending on how the kick-out system goes and really make it defined, which I am a big fan of. And last but not least, the submission system in chain wrestling. This year, chain wrestling automatically no longer starts at the start of a match. It'll happen if two characters try to grapple at the same time, or in situations where the wrestler's style and personality, but is no longer the standard way to start a match. It's true, I like chain wrestling, but to start every single match off doing chain wrestling, unless you turn it off, which you could turn it off, that's one of the good things about a simulation-based game, is they do offer the options like to take away the stamina, to take away the reversals, so you can play a little bit more arcade style, but this is a great way to go to, kind of keep the realism. Last thing is the submission system. So they still are going to keep the submission system they have. Now, I'll be the first one to admit, at first, I hated it. It was hard to get used to. In 2K16, now that I've played, in July, I uploaded probably 6 videos. I was working on WrestleCrate, but I recorded over 100 matches. If you looked at the tweet I put out, I recorded 100-plus matches, and I've gotten really good at the submission system. This year, they're going to make it so you can bring back an alternative system where you can smash them buttons. But the one thing, and the question that Vincent posed is, what happens online when you have some people that can smash buttons versus somebody that has to move the joystick? And let's be honest, they said it's not going to be so slippery, which I would agree with. I would like to see it. I think it's a very, very good feature to kind of give people those options and different ways to go. So until next time, my name is Tubby, guys. Let me know, are you excited for 2K17? Are these changes you truly believe in?